amazing people, and welcome to Chit and Chat with April and Kisha, where we discuss all things motherhood, womanhood, sisterhood, parenthood, childhood, adulthood, and the hood.
So grab your favorite beverage and let's get to chit chatting.
All right. What you sipping on?
Some fast food beverage with a yellow logo, Dr. Pepper.
All right. So I have in my blue cup, I have some flavored water, strawberry watermelon with some ice.
Okay, all right.
Y'all know I'm
We
still
have
on my
quality
water kick.
H2O.
Some high flavored quality H2O. So, hey, amazing people, we are here and we're going to get back to the series of Mom Guilt, where we will be talking from my book, Mom Guilt, A Guide to Understanding What It Is, Why It Exists, and How to Manage It. So today what we're going to talk about is why do moms feel guilt? So I have a quote. Y'all know I cannot see, and I got to put on my spectacles from the dollar store.
The $1.25.
$1.25. The $1.25. We're gonna start off with a quote by Gwen Stefani.
Okay.
She says, "When you're a parent, you're just like God. I hope they like me when they grow up. I hope that I did a good job. I hope they're going to be happy." That is the quote from Gwen Stefani, discussing to God or talking to God about how she hopes that her children grow up. When they grow up, that they will like her and that she did a good job. So, with that, first we're going to start with that quote. What do you think about that quote? How do you feel?
Well, I guess I understand where she coming from. Everybody hopes that when they grow up, their children will like them, but there is a time when you grow up and your kids don't like you. Normally, it's between the ages of teenage and midlife crisis. Think about it. You're the parent. You've lived your life, so you're trying to keep your kids from making the mistakes that's been going on, and they're wanting to live their life and they're making the mistakes. They call home to you, hey, I did this, what should I do? You're trying to tell them what to do. Then it's why should I do that? Why do you always tell me that you want to live my life? You want to be me. You want to live vicariously through me. No, I don't. I've already done that. You forgot how you got here.
True. That is so true. What I say about that, like when you offer your children suggestions or opinions, if your child comes to you and say, hey mom, what do you think about this? Or I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you know in your mind as a mother that is not right, but they grown or they think they grown. And because it has been, and I don't know where this is at, but I read it somewhere that even though when you turn 18, your brain is still not fully developed. So like I said,
It is
they
not.
think they grown. But I go back to say, they may ask you a question and you give your opinion or your suggestion, and they may or may not take it. So what I do with my child, because my child, So what I did when my child turned 18, because I already knew it was coming, because that's how we was when we turned 18. We grown, right? So when my child turned 18, of course he's my child, so I'm still gonna treat him like a baby, but I'm also gonna treat him as an adult because I gotta cut them apron strings. So what I do with my child is, if we are in a conversation and he asks me my opinion, or we're in a conversation and I have an opinion or suggestion, I will give it, but then I will say, I'm putting it on the table. You can either leave it on the table or you can take it off. That's what I do. So then the choice is his. So if he decides not to go by my suggestion, I'm not gonna get mad because I left it on the table, and he either gonna leave it on the table or he's gonna take it off the table. If he takes it off the table, of course, silently, I'm like, hey, he listen. But if he don't take it off the table, then I just have to go with his choice, and I can't be mad if he doesn't go by my suggestion, because it's his life, and you just got to pray on it and let it go. So that's what I do with my adult child. Everybody is different, because again, you're like when Stefani said, I hope my child still like me when they grow up. I do a good job. When they grow up, are they gonna be like, well, mom, you could have did this, that, and the third, or blah blah. And in children, period. If something go down, your child could be 50 years old, and you can be 70, 80 years old. If something go down and your child get in trouble, the first thing they're gonna do is look at the parents. That's society as a whole. They're gonna look at the parents and like, how did you raise your child? And it might not even have nothing to do with how you raise them. It's the choices
that the child
has made. But
exactly. I mean, I have two that they call me and they ask my opinion. They don't like what I have to say. And, we'll have our arguments and our spats and stuff. And like I tell them, you call me. You call me and ask me the question. You don't want to hear what I got to say? Then don't call. You already know how this is going to go. My other one, she will ask my opinion only after she has made a decision. And then when I find out that she's already made the decision, and I'll tell her, well, you came to me, you asked my opinion. Then you don't like what I say, but it doesn't matter because you've already made the decision. But here's how it's going to go down. And then I have to draw a whole nother picture for her, because she doesn't only have herself to think about. She's got two other human beings to think about. And then she realizes, oh, I didn't make the right decision. Now I got to rethink this whole thing. Yeah. Because you made a decision about you, not about you and two other human beings. Not even about it. It shouldn't even be about you. It should be about two other human beings.
Yeah, but some moms, some moms are not like that. And
I know.
And she's still a young mom too. So
yeah.
Some mom's gonna make decisions based on them and expect for the children to fall in to where they make decisions. But then there's some moms who are gonna be making decisions based on their children, and then you have to fall in. And then the decisions you make based on your children might not be the right decision for you, but you're basing it, on your children. For example, when I got a divorce, I had a decision to make: either stay in the Carolinas or move back to the Commonwealth. And I had to think about it, but I based that decision on my child, and I stayed in the Carolinas, and I'm so glad I did. But the decision I would have made if I had moved back to the Commonwealth was to be, more closer to family at the time, because you were divorced and blase blase. That was how I was basing it. But as I looked at my child and looked at our surroundings and looked at what was going on in Carolinas at the time regarding education and where I wanted to see my child at regarding education and whatnot, and how he was developing, I made that choice based on my child to stay in the Carolinas. And like I said, I'm glad that I did. So it could be a catch-22. It's either you base it on your children or you base it on yourself. And you pray that you make the right decisions.
Exactly.
So I want to discuss, let me put my spectacles back on, be like my mama with the glasses and peek through.
Still pull them down to be reading.
She still pull them like, So I kind of look like my mama with these glasses on, don't
Yeah, you do.
Or our mama. I said my mama, but our mama. So, okay. So high expectations of moms. There are very high expectations for moms, and for good reason. Parents are responsible for feeding, clothing, nurturing, educating, cleaning, loving, disciplining, and playing with their children. That is quite a load. Mom, you are charged with such an incredible task, raising a child. On the other hand, parents and moms the most are also often saddled with unrealistic expectations. Moms are not capable of being perfect, no matter how much they wish they could be. Moms make mistakes, have hard days, and say the wrong things sometimes. Moms lose their patience, cry, and get angry sometimes. Whether it is a family, society, or yourself placing the burden on you, which is us, it is important to know that no mom is ever going to do everything right. And those moms you are comparing yourself to are not perfect either. They also make mistakes. They burn dinner, they lose their temper and wonder if they are doing things right just like you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're not
I'm
perfect.
all of the above.
Yes, we are not perfect. As you stated earlier, when you're giving your opinion or your suggestion to your child, sometimes depending on your child, you might have to word it different because they have their own language. So
Yes.
when you say one thing, you might say, "Oh, I should have said that another way," because he or she's not gonna understand it that way. Or if they already got their mindset, or this is what I'm gonna do, and you don't agree with it, they're already gonna be on the defensive. So you have to, think about words to say to them to get your point across.
Exactly.
So just like with friends, I have this kind of like intuition thing about friends. Like if I meet your friend, I'm like, hey, I like them. Hey, I don't like them. Or I'm cordial, but it's something about that person I ain't put my finger on yet. So I'm gonna need you to be careful with this particular friend.
Exactly. I
They
had to
might be
get
like,
a light man to fix my light in the back. I'm sorry.
all right, but then they might be like,
Had to get my sound effects man and my light man to fix my light.
that's okay. I have to get like, but they might be like, well, Ma, you don't know this person. You just don't know them. And you already saying you don't like them and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. You're a mom. Mom knows these things, and we might be wrong. The person might turn out to be great, but then the person might not turn out to be great. But again, that's just like if your child is dating somebody you don't like. Your child like that person.
Yep.
And the more you say you don't like them, you don't like them, you don't like them, it's gonna be the more they connect to that person.
Exactly.
You have to figure out a way of what to say or use examples with your child to let your child know this person might not be the right person for you, or this person is toxic, or
exactly.
We're not perfect. I mean, even moms ourselves, we might be in a relationship that we ain't got no business being in.
Yeah.
And the child might know,
exactly.
my mama don't need to be in this relationship, but she in this relationship.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways with experiencing guilt about having these high expectations and being perfect, because nobody is perfect.
No,
not even Claire Huxtable. That's a girl, even though it's a character, nobody is perfect. And we can't compare ourselves to Claire Huxtable or June Cleaver for back in our parents' day.
I mean,
or
speaking of that, I mean, I like to think I'm a cross between Claire and Rochelle.
Claire and Roseanne.
Well, that too. Claire, Rochelle, and Roseanne.
So for everybody who don't know, Claire's from the Huxtables. Rochelle is from Everybody Hates Chris, and then everybody knows Roseanne.
I'm a little combination of the three. So, catch me on whatever day.
And
my street name is Tony Ray.
Okay, Tony Ray. So, but people compare themselves to TV moms. People compare themselves to their own moms. They might compare themselves to the best friend moms, to people that they know as moms, but you don't know what's going on in their mind, in their life, in their household while you're comparing yourself to them. And their children, it may be different from your children, their situation. Maybe that one could be a single parent, one could be, Claire, Rochelle, and Roseanne both had husbands. Everybody might not have no husband. Everybody, they might have a significant other. They might not have a significant other. Your significant other may be a male or a female. You don't know these days. It's just different. It's different while you're comparing to other moms. So anything left that you want to talk about on that?
I don't think so. There is no manual written on how to be. I mean, people like to think that there is a manual on how to be a good parent, and a lot of people will say, well, I read the book on Dr. Spock before I got before I got pregnant or while I was pregnant, and this is what he said, or I had the American Academy of Pediatrics say this is what I need to do with my kids. What I'm gonna tell you right now, while they are all advice, they are all books with advice. Until you get your own kid and you fall into place with how things are going to go, because even your kids are not going to have the same attitude. Mm-hmm. You may have to treat everybody different. So you may have to be Claire Huxtable with one parent, with one kid, Roseanne with one kid, and Rochelle with another kid. I mean, that's just how it is.
That's true, because everybody is different. All kids are different. Mm-hmm. You might have a child with special needs. You may have a child that's your bonus child, meaning you're in a blended family. So this child has a mother.
Yep.
You're the bonus mother. So, and then you can't compare how you're raised, you're with, which is a whole nother, blended families is a whole nother podcast episode. But, your bonus child's mother may be raising them one way, and you and your husband, raising them a whole, total different way, and y'all have to get on the same, that can cause conflict. Y'all have to get on the same wavelength.
Yep.
And then you might have your own child. So now I have my child in the house and my bonus child in the house. So, not to make the bonus child feel left out, they got to be included too. So you might have to go from, like you said, a Claire Huxtable to a Rochelle, to a Roseanne, to a June Cleaver. June Cleaver is from Leave It to Beaver, y'all who don't know, who's basically a housewife. So that's all she did was take care of, the family. So, so you just have to, it's just different. Even when you have your own children, everybody's not the same. So it's just different, or what part of me is going to come out today. Us moms, we might have several different personalities. Which personality gonna come out today depends on how the child gonna roll or what the child need. And I told my child, like, I only have one, but we had a conversation about if he had a sibling, who would who would I love more? It's not who I would love more. I would love both of y'all equally. It would be about who needs my attention more at that time.
Yep. Exactly.
If one is fine, doing great, and the other one got a cold or sick, I'm gonna be babying because the person got a cold or sick. This one don't. But if this one's doing great in school, but this one is having a hard time in school, might have to spend more time with this one to get a tutor, or we sit down with this child and help do homework. It's not about who I love more; it's who may need more of my attention at a given specific time. So
exactly, but they can't see that. They don't see that. They equivalent spending time with the amount of love.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not like even Claire Huxtable, she's on TV, she's a lawyer, she's working, and then she come home and she might have to cook or clean and spend time with with the kids and stuff, all in 30 minutes. A 30-minute time slot. But in real life, there's a lot going on. So we can't compare ourselves to other moms. Moms can't see the future.
Because if I did, and if I could,
so moms,
it'd be a whole lot different.
One reason moms are burdened with guilt is that they will not know if they are succeeding right away. They do not have the privilege of knowing if their parenting strategy is working until later in life. Since moms are not fortune tellers, they can feel guilty about the decisions they make because they do not know the future outcome. Did they manage a disagreement among their children correctly? Did they send them to the right school? Did they give them the right diet? Did they teach them the right things? It takes time for moms to see the fruits of their arduous work, and they may not know right away that they need to course correct.
And you may not even know they're adults.
Exactly.
And then at that point, you can't course correct. Like you can only say, "Dang, I should have," or maybe if I had did this, but you can't course correct at that point,
Yeah. So that brings me back to, like I said earlier, when I got a divorce, I had to make a decision whether to stay in the Carolinas or go back to the Commonwealth. And now I know that the decision to stay in the Carolinas was the right decision. At that time, I didn't. I had to just pray and let God handle it and let it go. So, yeah, now I know, but at that time, I didn't. You just have to pray on it. So if it wasn't a right decision, like I said, you can't course correct it right now because he's an adult. But thank God it was the right decision. But I didn't have proof that that was the right decision until my child went to college.
Right.
So, and that was like 5-6 years out by the time. Well, now 8 years out by the time I made the decision to stay in the Carolinas. So, yeah, we can't see the future. We just have to, moms, you just have to pray.
Yep.
And just be in constant prayer over your child.
And, over and you have to mother in the moment.
Yes.
You got to mother in the present. That's just it. You have to mother in that moment because every moment is different. So you just have to be present and just mother in that moment.
Correct. So, yeah, it's hard out here in these mom streets. But hey, we got this. We got this. We got this. So, yeah, I can't put my glasses on right. So we got this. Okay, so moms don't know everything. Even if they have read the parenting books, as my sister stated earlier, you ask for advice and spend all their teenage years babysitting. Moms still do not have all the answers. What happens when for instance, what happens when you have a colicky baby that will not settle for hours at a time? What about a toddler that melts down 20 times a day? What is the right answer for a child who is defiant or one who is anxious and gets a belly ache before school every day? How about a mom who figures out her first child only to have a second child who acts and behaves differently? Because all your kids ain't gonna act the same.
No, they do not. No, they don't.
For moms to become seasoned, wise, experienced parents, they first must experience taking care of children. And no matter the amount of advice given can prepare a mom for what it is really like to be a parent. No one else in the entire world will have the same experiences with children in the same life situation as you. And so as a mom, you must learn as you go.
Right.
As she matures as a mother, she will look back at choices she made as a younger mom. She may regret some of her decisions or the way she behaved in certain circumstances. And so a mom may have guilt over past mistakes and fear about the future ones. That's a lot. Where to start?
What's the question? No. So let's see. Where to start with that? I think that, as a mother, you're just gonna have to remain open-minded. I mean, and just know that every kid is not going to be the same. Your kids may have the same gene pool. You may have all your kids by the same father, but they're not gonna have the same attitude. You know what I'm saying? You may have a kid who melts down 20 times a day. You know what? Melt down 3 with them, because you're gonna have to hang in there. And there's gonna be times where you can't be the calm and cool mom all the time, and gentle parenting. I think I stopped gentle parenting in 1938. And just know I was born in 76. Gentle parenting don't work all the time. It'll work some of the time, but it's not going to work all the time. So I think you have to dig deep down, and you're going to have to pull out different strategies out of your repertoire. Know what is going to work well and when it's going to work. You may have to gentle parent while your child is melting down in the middle of Walmart, for one kid, but your second kid may have a meltdown in Walmart. You got to become a roughneck. Might have to leave the building. So you just have to be open-minded into how to handle your kid. Mm-hmm. And don't be hard on yourself when you do. Because everybody's not the same.
And that's true. So excuse me. So when you say, you have all your children by the same the same father. I know my our mom and our aunts, of course, have the same parents. And all four of them are so different. We call them the four seasons, because they have the same parents, they were raised in the same household,
the same way,
same educational institutions, the same way, and all four of them are totally different. We have the summer, we have the winter. What has it go? We got summer, we have fall, we have winter, and we have spring.
Yep.
That is what we call them, because all four of them represent a season based on their personality.
And the funny thing is that everybody, all of the grandchildren can see it.
Exactly. They may look alike. They might favor each other. They may look alike. They may look like our grandparents. But I'm trying to tell you, all of them have different personalities, and everybody can see, we all can see it. And the thing about it, they don't even have the personalities of our grandparents.
No, they don't.
Then they might have some characteristics,
characteristics,
but I'm telling you, they are totally different. So as children, as teenagers, as adults, as grandparents, as great grandparents, they are totally different different seasons. And so that is true. So you can have kids, that don't mean all of them gonna act alike, be alike. They might be twins. Even twins, they feed off each other. They sense each other what's going on, but they may be identical twins and look just alike, but they're not gonna act alike.
No, they're gonna be totally different.
They're not gonna act alike. I know someone who has triplets, and two girls and a boy, and they are totally different. They are interested in totally different things. They've been together like all their life, and when they decided to go to college, they was like, okay, it's time for us to go out separate ways. So none of them went to the same colleges. They still in North Carolina, but they're at different colleges, and they're doing their different things because they been together for so long. The triplets, then they're learning their own identity. But even though they are triplets, they are not, and like all three of them have different personalities. So of course you're gonna have to treat your child, like as my sister said, by their personalities, by their attitude, and what's going on at the moment. You're gonna have to mother at the moment, because you could be in the store and one have a meltdown. You could do gentle parenting. The other one can have a meltdown, and you might have to be the no limit soldier.
Yep, exactly.
So praying you gonna get locked up because your child out here acting crazy, and so
yep.
So it's just different. There is no handbook. I mean, there are a lot of books out there about parenting, but until you start parenting yourself, you can read all the books you want. You can get all the advice, suggestions you want. Until you start parenting yourself, only you know what is best for you and your children.
Yep, exactly. It's all, to me, all these parenting books are books on advice. They're like, oh, well, this person, he is an expert on this. He's an expert at the time that book was written. He's not an expert on this culture at this time, this day and age. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So no, there ain't nothing he could tell me. But pretty much out of that book, I probably got just breathe.
Yeah, that's about it. And things are different. I mean, like when we be comparing ourselves, we even compare ourselves to our own mother or grandmother or our aunts, but things are different because like our mom raised generation, what are we, Xers?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd have raised the generation Z. You'd raise the generation Z, and then you raise what is it, generation AA or whatever the next generation is.
I don't know, alpha, sigmas,
Or
furries. I
something.
don't know what's going on.
I mean, everything is different. In our day, we didn't have social media, laptops, cell phones. I didn't see
Yep.
a computer until I first got to college, and it was big, one of the big, huge computers. You had to go into the
Mm-hmm.
computer lab and with the big floppy disk and put on
Yep.
every alphabet from A to Z in there just to save and retrieve. So you know things
Yep.
are different. So you are the world was crazy then, but the world is crazier. So
Exactly.
you have to mother your child the best way you can in the situation that you're in, as long as you're healthy, your child is healthy, your child is growing and developing. And again, you can have mom guilt about past mistakes that you thought about. I mean, I've had mom guilt about past mistakes or situations that happened and I didn't handle it correctly, and now I'm thinking back, now I could have handled it this then a different way. But yeah, so you have to mother for the present and pray
Yep.
for the future. And pray.
Exactly.
So the next thing we're going to talk about in this chapter is parenting advice is conflicting, because of course everybody gets parenting advice. And even in the book, I might give advice, but it's advice about
Yep.
how to identify mom guilt, you know, what it is, why it exists, and how to manage your mom guilt. But how one person manages mom guilt may not be how another person will manage mom guilt. So
Yep.
it's just advice. Okay, so moms are inundated with advice, but knowing how to choose the right one is a different matter. Moms get parenting advice from friends, relatives, parents, social media, books, television, pediatrician, other parents, and religious leaders. And here is what the conflicting advice might look like. So this is just some examples of what the conflict of advice might look like. Children need discipline. So somebody might say children need to be disciplined. Somebody might say never discipline your child. Somebody might say don't let kids have screen time, which is TV time or your iPad, your laptop. Screen time. Some people might say screen time can be good for the kids. There might be like kids need parents who are hands-on and highly involved. Then there's somebody else who might say kids need parents who let them be independent and figure things out on their own. Somebody might say send your child to a public school. Somebody may say send your child to a private school. Somebody might say homeschool your child. Don't pick your baby up every time they cry because they won't learn to self-soothe. Or pick up a child every time they cry because it makes them feel safe and secure. Somebody might say, you should sleep train your infant. Good luck with that.
Exactly.
Or someone may say, let your infant decide their own schedule. Another one, going to the teenagers. Don't push your teenager towards independence they are not ready for. Then someone may say teenagers need to learn independence because they are almost adults. As stated earlier, moms do not have the benefit of knowing which parenting style or advice would be best overall. Moms may also find themselves following advice that simply does not fit them or their children.
Mm-hmm.
So, what say you, my sister?
Well, let's see where to begin. Um, let's see. Personally, I believe in discipline, but I also believe in structure. A kid um will thrive off of structure. They want the structure. Um, they want to be able to know that, on Monday morning I get up and I go to daycare, but once I'm finished, at the end of the week on Friday, I know I have 2 days at home with my family and I get to play. But I know that I go every day, I go to daycare and I see my friends. Then, when they get to daycare, they know I go in, I sit down, I do my work, I get up, I might go outside and play, I eat lunch, I take a nap, I go, it's like repetitive. And they have those good days. And those days eventually lead up to how we need them to be when they go to a regular school setting. So to me, and I'm not saying every child needs to go to a preschool, but I think that it is beneficial because I have worked in a school and I know the difference between the ones, and I've seen the difference between the ones that actually have had daycare and preschool as opposed to ones that come straight from the home. Uh-huh. Let's just say my special babies that came straight from the home, you could tell there was a lot going on. There was, they were the ones that we had to put in the back of the line so that we could say, hey, you need to watch your friends so you can follow what your friends are doing. Those are the ones that we needed to sit closer to us so we could say, hey, you need to watch what we're doing so that you can, do what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So to that discipline and structure, yes, I think it is needed with kids. Period. That's just how I am. Some people say no. I'm the one that says yes. You need discipline. You need structure. For the teenagers, giving them independence and then saying no, they're not quite adults. That's a thin line. Again, I work in a school system where I am trying to, and I see the teenagers not able to handle basic life skills. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to push you out there and make you go work 40 hours a week and bring home a paycheck so you can pay bills. But I'm trying to get you to understand that every time you have a stomachache, you can't call your mama and go home, because when you get grown and you have to start adulting and go to your job, you can't call mama to get you out of going to work. Exactly. You got to stay there and suck it up.
Or you ain't gonna have a job.
Or you won't have a job. And then how are you going to pay your bills? And then once you don't have to pay your bills, you don't have a job, you don't have a car, you won't pay your rent, you don't have lights, you don't have food. Like, these are all trickle down effects, for our females. Baby, you've been dealing with cramps since you was probably in elementary school, 5th grade, 6th grade. These cramps are going to be with you probably until you are a great grandma. To this, I say you need to get over it and learn to bring you some medication, because we're not going to keep calling home because you got cramps. You got to go home. You got to go to work. And unless you get a man, and bless your heart if you do, and I commend you, that will sit there and take care of you, and you can stay at home and you don't have to go out and work, you're going to have to go out and work. And cramps that's not a sick day.
It sure is not.
So, what I tell the kids is, these are basic life skills that you need to learn. A simple illness that can be taken care of with, Tylenol, some type of pain reliever, Gas X. You need to have those type of things, because girl, they came in with some chest pains, and I'm like, if you just go to the bathroom and pass gas, like, can you go in the bathroom and fart? I don't care if I hear it, just go. But I'm like, if you just do those things, you will feel so much better. You don't have to go home for these things. What you're equating with this is, I don't want to be here, so now I have an ailment. And if I have an ailment, I don't have to be at school, or I don't have to be at my job. I can go home. No. Because at some point, your job going to be like, you ain't got to come back.
Exactly. And even if you're a self-employed, you're an entrepreneur, you work for yourself, if you have clients and customers, you have to be there for them clients and customers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you can't just be, I got a headache today, let me cancel. No, because guess what? They're going to go elsewhere.
Exactly. And you're going to lose money. So those are the things that, while you're trying to teach your kid to be independent, basic living skills, basic life skills are so needed in the high schools. They're teaching them personal finance, but you're teaching them personal finance on how to go out here and buy a brand new car. Baby, who out here buying brand new cars?
That's true.
I think I've in my whole life have only had one brand new car, and I got that on sale, and it was used. And at that time, it was brand new, but I think it was on its way to being used because it was like 2 miles away from being used, and it was a demo.
Your brand new used car.
It was my new used.
So I actually got a book about from high school to adulthood, the handbook, the Clueless Graduate's Handbook to Adulting. And the reason why I wrote that book is because I have worked in the school system too. I did outpatient therapy, I've worked with kids. I've looked at my child, my nieces, my nephews, their friends, what's the gap between high school, adulthood, and learning. So I wrote that book to put just some basic life skills in that book, because the school systems I see now, I should have gave you this disclaimer at the beginning. Our opinions and our beliefs of my sister and I are our opinions and beliefs. You may or may not agree. If you don't agree, just keep it moving. But this is our opinions and our beliefs. So let's agree to disagree. So that's right. My disclaimer. So I say that to say this. I have noticed that and I'm just saying we in general, we, the parents, the guardians, the adults, the school systems are releasing these kids into the world and they don't have a clue.
Right.
They don't have a clue. So yes, they might be teaching them and they might teach them financial literacy, but how deep are they going into financial literacy? Like, are you teaching them how to buy a car, but are you teaching them what goes along with their car? Like, you need to put money aside for maintenance. It ain't even, the car don't even have to break down. It could just be the quarterly maintenance where you got to change your oil. I mean, now you can go 5 months without, before you change your oil, but you got to change your oil. You have to, make sure it's going to be cold soon. Them tires going to be going down. Make sure the tire pressure is up. What about insurance?
Yeah.
And you got your insurance. You got to pay property taxes when you go out. You get your first apartment. What a deposit is. What the security deposit is with the last month rent. If they say utilities included, if they say utilities not included, you have to do all of that. Then how to go grocery shopping. People, I have seen kids just staying there like they don't know how to grocery shop, look at the prices, let me tell y'all this, look that. First of all, eggs. When you buy eggs, and then I'm gonna go back to it. When you buy eggs, open the carton and look at the eggs, make sure they not cracked or anything, because somebody could switch it around and you just grabbing eggs. You got to open and check and make sure your eggs are good. That's a little tidbit for somebody. The bacon. Oh, they got slick with the bacon. Because see, now they try to cover up the whole thing so you can't see the bacon. But let me tell you a little trick about the bacon. You look at the bacon and see how much fat is on the ends of the bacon to determine if the bacon has more fat than non-fat.
Right.
Now that they got hip to it, and then it start covering up the box that you almost got to rip the darn box open just to see how much the fat is. So those are just some little tidbits. But the point is, there's a lot of kids that's being released into the world, and even going to college. Even if they further their education, go to college, you need to know when you go to college, walk in groups. Don't be walking everywhere willy-nilly by yourself, especially at nighttime. Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your friend. You can have associates, acquaintances, friends, family. Everybody ain't your friend.
That's right.
You need to get your butt up. You got a 9 o'clock class. You need to get your butt up in time to eat breakfast. If you eat breakfast, get dressed and get your butt to class on time. Because them professors, if it's 9 o'clock, they shutting their door and you can't come in after that time. So you late. And if you late so many times, they're going to drop you. So now you or your parents or whoever is paying for your tuition is wasting money because your butt is not in class. If you know you're not a morning person, don't take morning classes. Yep. Get afternoon or evening classes. if now sometimes you might have to, because that might be the only class you need, this class, so I'm gonna just have to suck it up. But we have to teach these kids that, and a lot of kids don't know that. Now I know we're supposed to be talking about mom guilt, we got over to the life skills, but I just wanted to say that you know, some people might say you babying your child. Some people might say you pushing your child and you not coddling your child. It's up to you. It depends on the attitudes of your child, what's going on in the situation. You can actually do both.
Yep.
At one moment, you can baby your child. At another moment, you can be like, no, you need to be independent. I love you. Give me a hug. Love you. Smooches, kisses, all that stuff. But you need to be independent, because guess what? Mommy and daddy is not always going to be here. And if we're not here, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
What are you going to do? So, you might have to end up taking care of me. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I need to make sure you know what you're doing. So you can cuddle your child, you can love on your children, and you can push them to be more independent as well. Because if you don't love on your children, they may go looking for love in all the wrong places. But you don't want to just love on them to the point where they can't do nothing without you, and they don't know what to do, and they just lost, and they don't know how to handle being lost. They don't know how to handle time management or conflict. How they say, if you don't, what is the quote did they say? I can't even think about it, but it's something about how you treat your children now. Remember, they're going to be adults, and how you treat them is going to be how they act
when they get older.
And if you don't hold them responsible as a child, then they're not going to have accountability as an adult.
Exactly.
So of course, this is just advice, this is suggestions. You have to mother in the moment, and depending on how your child is, of course, you know what's best for your child. I say you can cuddle and love on them, and they can be independent.
Yes, indeed.
They have to know. Cuddle, love on them, show them some love, let them know they love, but then also let them know you're gonna have to go out here, you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because you don't know, you might have to take care of me when I get older. So
exactly.
Because some of these kids out here, I be praying, I be, Lord, is this person gonna be my nurse? Is this person gonna be such and such? Because they can't do this, they can't do this. They're supposed to be taking care of my generation. So so no, I also say what was the other thing? Sleeping. So me and my sister had to be in the bed when the clock hit 9:00 p.m. Night. On the weekend, on a Friday or Saturday, we might can stay up a little bit, because
1 o'clock because we had to watch wrestling.
Yeah, we can stay up at 1 o'clock on Saturday because we had to watch wrestling. We had to watch Dusty Rhodes, Black Jack Monica, Wahoo McGee.
We had to watch wrestling.
Young Bloods, Jason, Young Blood, Rick Steamboat, back in the day. So that's how old we are. But we also had to be up to go to church the next morning.
There you go.
And back in our day, the news was on at 11. Wrestling may have came on at like
11:30. Yeah.
And when they went off, the TV went slam off. You seen the flag waving. The TV went slam out. It won't no other extra TV cable. No, the TV went slam out, so you ain't had no choice but to go to bed. But anyway, we still had to be up to go to church the next day. So we had to be in the bed at 9 o'clock. That was our bedtime. I was in high school, and my mama was like, I was like, Mom, I'm in high school now. I need some leverage, because I would come home, take a nap, and then get up and do homework, and it'd be after 9, and you want me in the bed at 9. So she did switch it around in high school, where I had to be off the phone by 9 o'clock. So if I was on the phone, she don't care if I was talking to some little snot-nosed boys, she would say, or one of my little friends, she didn't care who I was talking to, I had to be off the phone by 9. And I could stay up later, but the next day when it's time to go to school, if I was dragging out the bed or sleeping or all this stuff, oh no, since you're so tired, you going to bed early tonight.
And early to her was 7 o'clock.
Child, yeah. So we did have a bed.
It be light outside. It be light outside.
Still light outside. You in the bed.
My granddaughter say, "Can you turn off the lights?"
Excuse me. So I do believe in a bedtime. My child, he had a 9 o'clock bedtime too.
Yep, mine too.
Even if you in the bed counting sheep, looking at the wall or whatever, you had to be
in there
bed at
with your mind turned off. Yep.
So he had a 9
I had one who was in the bed at 8 and was asleep by 8:01.
He sure was. I would call, be like, hey, I'm calling, talk to my nieces, my nephew. You know what time it is? She in the bed sleep. I have to call, like, let me call at 7:55 so I can get her right quick, because she would be.
What time she go to bed? 8 o'clock. Hey, Kisha's 8:01. I know.
She be in the bed sleep. I be like, how's she going to prom?
She was sleeping at her prom.
She did get to go to one prom.
She did, but she was sleeping.
But she called me.
She was like, "You come pick us up now. I'm tired."
She was.
Oh my God!
You're like, how you? She was in the bed, so you ain't even have to give her bedtime, because
she gave herself a bedtime. Bless her heart.
Own it.
Her youngest one is just like that though. Her youngest one is just like that. 8:05. She
is out of it. Yeah, so we did give our children like 9 o'clock bedtimes. On the weekend, my child was up because somebody would say, you ain't got to go to bed early on the weekends. You could be up all night.
You should talk about your sisters like that.
Who don't even live in my household, but got a nerve to tell her nephew's son. And then she gonna get mad at me when I buy her kids toys to make noise, because that's what you get. I was telling my child he can be up all night on the weekends or holidays, you know. And he be up all night. Trust me. I be like, don't do that.
He's still up all night. He still be up all night.
He be up all night to the point that we done had to change our little Christmas tradition thing. You know how on Christmas Eve our tradition is you open up a gift, or you open up one gift on Christmas Eve, and then the next day you open up gifts. When I said my child be up all night, he'd have changed the tradition with us. I don't know what he gonna do with his kids. I told him he gonna have to switch it around when he had kids. So we start opening up gifts at 11:30 at night on Christmas Eve. So we open up that one gift, and by the time everybody open up one gift and be oohing and ah, it's midnight. So therefore, it's the next day, it's Christmas. We can open up the rest of the Christmas gifts, and then we can go to bed. So when we up in the morning fixing breakfast, he knocked out sleep because he been up all night. Thanks to somebody is on Chit and Chat with April and Kisha. And I digress. So my sister,
you had to call me out like it.
Somebody. And I be like, go to bed. But then, when he got in high school and whatnot, I mean, he's a teenager, a good boy. So it's no reason for me to have to be like, you need to be at bed at such and such a time, because he's doing everything he needs to do. Mm-hmm. He's doing everything he needs to do. No issues. But his sleep habits, even when he went to college, his sleep habits, he'll call me 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm jumping up and like, what's going on? Oh, no, I just call you to talk. Boy, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. I want because he be up all night.
And you're welcome.
And you're not. So with that being said, anything else you want to say about this section of mom guilt?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. The only thing I think the takeaways from this are mothering in the moment. Don't worry about the future, just mother in the moment. Just know that the books that are out there and everything that you read, anything that you hear, any advice given from, your peers and, family stuff is just that. It is advice. You can take it. You don't have to. It may work for you. It may not. If it doesn't, it's okay. Just know that, you do what's best for your child in that moment, and not all of your children are going to be the same. Don't compare yourself to any of, any other mothers that you know, because you have to be 4 different mamas in one day. It's okay. Keep your kids structured, but also, let them do them, and just, follow their lead, and then, keep your cool, keep your head. Whew, breathe, hunty. Breathe. That's all I got to say.
Yes, and
I'm still breathing.
And no mothers, you got this. You got
Mm-hmm.
this, and you got help. It takes a village. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, they mean it takes a village to raise a child. But even though they're saying it takes a village to raise a child, us adults, us mothers need a village too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So with that being said, amazing people, this concludes today's episode of Chit and Chat with April and Kisha. And we will continue with this series next time. So I wish you all blessings and love.
Bye.